Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to GX, and this is a Russian prisoner never forgot the American POWs who fed him in a Nazi prison camp. In this rare footage from 1988, Charles Kuralt meets a Russian dentist who vowed for 50 years to contact the American soldiers who saved him, his comrades, from starving at jail. Okay, the title was kind of like weird way of phrasing it. I'm like, what? Fed him in a Nazi camp? Okay. This is like a wholesome clip. This was posted 2 days ago. And yeah, this is a bit different than I've been reacting recently. But I felt like I should react to this one. Bit wholesome, bit different. American who saved a Russian prisoner. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's watch this one.
Значит, я не совсем, понимаете, по-американски говорил. Но
he said he had a story to tell.
Вовчик сказал,
a story he had to tell.
German Gestapo.
I was in Moscow last June for the Reagan-Gorbachev summit meeting. He was a stocky little bulldog of a man, a Russian who barged into our hotel demanding to see an American reporter. I agreed to meet him in a park. He arrived wearing old medals and clutching an old shopping bag.
Но я не думал, что мне...
My name, he said, is Dr. Nikita Zakharovich Asayev. I was a dentist in the army in World War II. The medal on his right lapel is for being wounded in combat. The scar over his right eye, he said, was a little memory from the Gestapo. We were all prisoners of the Germans, he said, at a big concentration camp on the Oder River. There were 8,000 American soldiers there, captured at Tobruk in North Africa. The camp was laid out this way. The Gestapo barracks was here. The Americans were here. The Russians were here. Each of the Americans received every Friday 5 kilos of food from the Red Cross, but the Germans gave us only 1 liter of turnip soup per day and 1 liter of water. We were dying by the tens and then by the hundreds. The Americans could see this. I was the only dentist in the camp, so I could sometimes talk to the Americans. 2 American brothers, Volchik, Michael Volchik, a sergeant, and his brother Peter, came to me and suggested a plot by which the Americans would smuggle food to us. By what method did the Americans deliver these parcels to the Russians? At night, after the sentry passed, they would throw them over the wire. It was only 8 meters. Those American boys were strong. They could throw them 100 meters. Was it dangerous for the Americans to do what they did? Oh, of course. They would have killed us. They executed people for less.
Oh shit, so I guess this is the time where German Nazis were new writing in the wall, so they were treating Americans better or some shit, right? Because they know that, is a hammer's coming down or something. Because otherwise, why would they not feed Russians similarly the way they were doing? Yeah, I don't know, this is just fucked up. But at least that's what I got from this story so far. Yeah, this is like wholesome, right? In situations like this where, okay, people think, oh, I would do that. I'm a pillar of community. I would do that. Okay. First of all, I don't know who made a joke. Like, I think it was Ricky Gervais or something who made a recent joke. Like, people say like, I would open the door, and let Anne Frank in and say, okay, imagine this scenario when Nazis are hunting anyone discriminately with very little incentive to hunt you down. Like, they just need an excuse. You're living in that type of world. You'll be so like conservative with how you do things. You become that. Like you only worry about you and your family. Like any time of action might affect me and my family. Why would I risk that? You become that. Doesn't matter how much of a pillar of community you are, because around you threat is everywhere, danger is everywhere. So this is that type of situation. If you do something, you probably gonna get screwed, right? But even then, they're like, okay, you know what? We can't let this shit happen, and try to help these Russians. Now that is certain level of mindset. That is commendable.
Женевской конвенции.
When the plot was discovered, they called all 8,000 Americans out in the hot sun, and 4 Gestapo men went down the line demanding to know the name of the Russian who organized the plot.
Это первые дни, понимаете.
For 3 hours, they stood there. They stood in absolute
А
silence.
теперь, если они живы, они узнают.
Not one American
Вот
betrayed
этот
me.
дентист, которого
Now,
они
because of you
любили,
guys, if they're alive, they'll know I remember. This dentist whom they loved and whom they did not betray.
ну, когда-нибудь, да я встречусь.
He took an oath, Dr. Asayev said, that after the war he would find a way to thank those Americans.
3 человека,
What
американцев,
good men they were, he
2
said.
брата. Симмонс,
He gave us a list of the names he remembered.
Ллойд Вильгаух.
When we returned to the United States, we
Oh,
found
my.
some of the people on that list.
Доктор Бракман прибыл.
Dr. Sidney Brockman is retired from his job at the health department in San Antonio, Texas. We asked him about his relationship with Dr. Asayev in the prison camp.
It was a very close relationship. We all had a tremendous respect for the man because we knew that the Russian prisoners were having things mighty rough.
Ярема из Нью-Йорка.
William Jarima is a retired New York City police detective living now in Ontario. He helped smuggle the food.
It was a terrific operation. Terrific.
They threw a few cigarettes to the guard. The guard walked one way while you were bribing the other way.
Angelo Spinelli was
as
in
long
that
as the
camp.
guard
Incredibly, he smuggled in a camera and took pictures there.
put on a
What the fuck? Oh, look at that.
German uniform.
This
and fight
picture is
for
of the Russian prisoners turned out for roll call.
it. They're all starving. All of them were starving.
When the Russian prisoners would die in their barracks, their comrades would not report their death to the
I don't know, that's such a fucking eerie photo. A real photo of a camp where you see these people knowing that a lot of them won't starve to death. I don't know, is it just me? Because, okay, photos are photos, great, but when you see real photos of a real event, you know that's literally engraving of the real event that happened there. Photos. I don't know why I'm explaining photos like to you like this way, but it's like when we say oh photos, like we don't really process it what that means. This is literally that moment we're witnessing. This is not a sketch. This is not an animation. This is not a movie. It's literally that camp, that moment. It's just fucked up where people are gonna die. It just like I just start to get goosebumps when I think about it.
Germans.
Just fucked
They
up,
would
man.
bring them out and stand them up for a roll call so that their bodies would be counted in the count for rations.
One of the pictures Spinelli made was of a Russian prisoner who tried to pick up a cigarette Americans had thrown to him and was shot to death by a guard. In such a deadly place as Stalag 3B, why did the Americans
Oh God, that photo. Oh God.
take dangerous chances night after night to smuggle food to Dr. Asayev? The question, asked all these years later, released a flow of memory and emotion.
He was an ally, so naturally we wanted to help him and the other Russians.
We actually were repaid many times by having that feeling of self-satisfaction, knowing that you helped someone who was in need. It's too bad we don't have more of that in the world today.
Милый,
On that park bench in Moscow, an old soldier opened a package of memoirs. Oh, these are my darlings, he said. These are my treasures.
Поехал в Америку.
Among his treasures was a metal cigarette case inscribed from the American Dr. Brockman to the Russian Dr. Asayev.
Больше дарить-то нечего. Призонер.
He didn't have anything else to give me. A prisoner is a prisoner. In faraway San Antonio, Texas, Dr. Sidney Brockman found something he too has kept all these years.
It was given to me by Dr. Asayev. It is a cigarette box, And inside, this little plaque, which says, Signe Brockman from NSSAF. I have not believed in being a professional prisoner. It's over. It's done with. I want to forget it if I can. But I can't.
Can you please ring for me a number in Moscow?
After 43 years, two old comrades in arms were united by telephone.
Yeah, William Yarema. I had written to him shortly after the war in 45 when I got home, and my letter came back. So I had assumed that he had perished.
William.
Yeah.
William.
Yeah, huh?
William, Dr. Asayev said. William, write to me. Write to me, he said, and I will respond to you with all my heart.
Yeah, that's done. It's a different type of weeping. It's
Yeah, I was about to say, like, grown men who witness World War II in camps crying. You know that's some heavy shit, right? Yeah. Man, the times were really fucked up, right? These people, what they survived, yeah.
Actually, it's one of joy and happiness. I thought he had been dead.
Last month, William Jarema went to the Soviet Union to find an old friend, and found him.
There he is.
And Dr. Asayev's vow that someday he would find a way to say thank you to those Americans, his promise to himself of 43 years ago, was finally kept.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
I saw him last in 1945 in Luckenwald. To moje žena Verena.
Oh, it's so nice to see you. I should say, Vila очень приятно.
И ни один американец никогда не сказал, что это вот русский, понимаете?
According to him, my group say that several hundreds of Russians.
6,5 тонн, 1350 пакетов.
There are only actually about 8 of us that did the operation. We're supplying food to them. And the less that knew about it, the better off we were. Because
It all happened a long time ago. They were young men thrown together by circumstance, a Russian army dentist, and a handful of American GIs who risked their lives to save his. He wanted them to know he remembers.
Сувенир.
They remember, too.
Бракман from.
yeah,
I appreciate his remembering me. I have never forgotten him. I will never forget him. What more can I say?
Yeah, man, this is it's some heavy. Like, I'm glad CBS is like, okay, this is the time to post this video. Because nowadays, like, okay, I don't want to make too much political commentary, but because of like this social media internet age and this Twitch age, where people are so disconnected and like divide is rising between people, between groups or perceived groups. This is the prime example of how two different sides like Soviet Union and America in a Nazi camp, none of that shit mattered, right? It's just humans and humans, right? In the end of the day, that saying becomes true, that war is only for the kings and the leaders and the presidents. Common people, yeah, they're just doing their thing, right? They're just following orders. In the end of the day, they don't really want to kill each other. And there's too many stories like that. There are entire channels made like this, where two opposing sides have wholesome stories like that. So that is universal. Time's not going to change that. Even today, when shit happens, in the end of the day, you'll find things like this. So yeah, it's just fucked up. Right, well, I guess I'll see you next time.